Good.
Yep.
All right, thank you all for coming today. You'll see that often slides are similar, but I assure you it'd be very different presidents. So I'll take it from the top here. This is the agenda for this morning. I'll talk about why I'm running, my goals as president, and then my execution game plan. Obviously it's 3 minutes, so I'll go through it pretty quick. So why I'm running, there's an expression in Canada that Steve will be familiar with, that this is not my first rodeo. I've been involved in politics before. I was vice president of the local chamber of commerce, former president of Toastmasters, and involved in a number of events and case competitions at Old University, UBC, including NIBC. So I've kind of been in similar roles, and I think I can add some value based on those experiences. I'm passionate about NUS. It's the only MBA program I applied to. I actually went here for my exchange, as many of you know, so I think that I'm quite familiar with the campus already, and I have an idea of how culture here is and how to get things done. And I'm very motivated. I came back here to make Singapore home. I want to be very active externally, making contact, and I think that will serve the cohort well. So my goal as president is jobs. It's very simple. I mean, we can talk about all the kind of the touchy-feely things about getting to know each other and all these other sorts of things, and I think that's good, but why do we want to get to know each other? Because we want to help each other with job prospects in the future. Why do we want to talk to alumni? Because we want alumni to open up career opportunities for us. Like, that's what we're all here for. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's other benefits to being here, of course, but that is the main focus, and so as your president, that's what I'd be focused on. And then the question you have to ask yourself is, and this is not just for me as president, but with all our presidents, is which presidents, when they go to call a company up or meet a company or go to a networking event and then approach managing directors and things like this after, which ones will be able to get them to come down to NUS and then meet all of you guys? So based on who you think will do that, I think you should think about your votes accordingly. Supporting clubs, I think it's important to remember that the president is very much the kind of supporting figure rather than a leading figure, and I recognize that. I definitely want to support the clubs in their endeavors, and I'll look to help them wherever I can. And in advocacy, there's a lot of things, kind of minor annoyances. One thing the president can do is advocate on your behalf for them. I mean, everyone's been complaining a lot about these business analytics assignments, so I'll see what I can do about that. And so the execution game plan. I think it's really important just being willing to do the work. So that means being willing to make a phone call, not taking no for an answer, sending a few follow-up emails. It's fairly simple, which is why I want to keep it simple. It's really just about picking up the phone, going to all the events, all these sorts of things. I think the more active you are, the more opportunities that will come our way, and the better job prospects we'll have at the end of 18 months here. And I also want to focus on maximum impact. It's a very, very short term of only 18 months. So, however, I mean, their whole degree is 18 months. We got 1 year here to get 1 year here as president. So I think it's important to get started early and then focus on things that you can actually get done rather than sort of far-reaching goals that might not see benefits for a while. So thank you for your time. Here's my contact information. Feel free to approach me anytime, and vote Sean McNulty for president.
Thanks, guys, for joining me for an awesome presentation. Just wanted to ask, how do you plan to support the part-time students in the endeavors? I would like to know, because so far part-time students would like to receive more attention, and I wonder if you have incorporated this in the programs. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I actually spoke to Kenneth about this, and he had a great idea, which I think is an initiative that we should follow up with, and that was to create a part-timer representative on the student council. So the part-timers would elect someone to represent them, and then there'd be an official channel for messages to get back to part-timers, get involved in things, and I think that would be a pretty straightforward way to go. And the part-timers could have their own election about it, and then we just go from there. And I think once you had that representation, I think having someone there would then ensure that part-timers aren't overlooked when it comes to events and initiatives.
Can I just throw this question to both of you, right? If you have 3 priorities that you want to focus on during your term, what would that be?
So I guess I would go back to my slides in terms of creating job opportunities for people. I mean, the one metric I think at the end of my term, if I am elected, that I judge whether I was a successful president or not, is the kind of opportunities I created for all of you guys. So if everyone here gets into the industries, makes the career switches they want to do, has multiple job offers. That to me is like the number one thing where I'd look back and say, okay, I think I added value to my cohort as president. If it isn't the case, then I'd say, okay, well, I don't think I did my job there properly. So that's the one main metric. And then it's just a question of how to go about accomplishing that. So then again, it comes back to calling up CEOs and things like that. I was actually at a presentation yesterday at the Finance Club, and Maudie was talking about connecting with alumni, and I mentioned to him that I've been on Bloomberg, doing a Bloomberg search for alumni, just looking in the finance world under NUS. And he said he hadn't thought of that, so there's an avenue to kind of connect with alumni that way. So there's that initiative to connect with alumni, to get out to companies and talk to them, and then of course events like Celebration and things like that. So, but in terms of the one thing I want to accomplish, like I think 3 is almost even too much given the short term. It's really just about creating job opportunities for the cohort and how I can do that as president.
I just want to thank you both for putting your names forward. It's quite difficult, I'm sure, to decide to run. And definitely your time is definitely valued. In the event one of you don't win, I actually have 2 questions. In the event one of you don't win, what will you plan on doing with the council and the cohort? I don't want to see a situation where, and this is really for everybody, those who win get involved and those who don't end up not getting involved.
I've been involved in a lot of political campaigns before, so I mean, I understand it gets a little testy leading up to it, and then a month after, a few weeks after, everyone kind of forgets about it. So I definitely understand that perspective. It's a very Canadian question, by the way. And then in terms of what I'd be involved in, I think the only major difference versus if I was president or wasn't is that I'd just be much more focused on just finance-related events. So I'd be talking to Manan or whoever gets elected Finance Club president, and be very focused on in terms of what initiatives he wants to do and seeing what I can get involved in and go to all the events and that sort of thing. But I suppose the main difference for me is if I was president, I'd be looking out to kind of all the different job opportunities out there, or all the different industries, where if I wasn't in a council or position, I'd be very focused just on the Finance Club and those endeavors.
Okay, thank you very much.